and she's obviously cited personal reasons. But it is significant for the country, isn't it? If a Chancellor is seen to be in distress in public, it has implications for the markets. They didn't react well to what they were seeing. We then have resignation rumours flying around. Can we be honest here? Can we cut to the chase and say that perhaps this woman who did embellish her CV simply isn't up to the job?
Well, I think I don't want to sort of personalise this around what happened at Prime Minister's questions, which we are told that there was a personal reason why Rachel was very distressed, and I think we should just respect that. But stepping away from that situation, of course, absolutely terrible mistakes have been made with our economy, not just by this Chancellor but also by the Prime Minister, in terms of being a government that came in saying they weren't going to put up everybody's taxes, then clobbering businesses and destroying growth. They then have gone out and borrowed vast amounts of money, stoked up inflation, so we've got interest rates higher for longer, which is hitting people and businesses up and down the country. And of course, overall, mismanaging the economy by destroying the so-called fiscal headroom that the Chancellor has against her targets, which is going to mean, I'm afraid, increased taxes in the autumn, which are going to be really difficult for a lot of people who are already struggling because of the choices taken by this Chancellor.
Well, this is what I can't quite understand. You've written to the Office for Budget Responsibility saying, goodness me, we need clarification of Britain's finances. We need new forecasts. I can see, Mel, that you're competing there with a team of children walking into the BBC. So bear with me. You've written to the OBR. We've got the Chancellor in tears on Wednesday, which rocks the financial markets. At some point or other, and Robert Jenrick has said this, he said she needs to consider her position. I can't quite understand why you won't say that. You're clearly concerned about the Chancellor's policies. You're concerned about the negative impact of the autumn budget. You've written this letter to the OBR saying, my God, the state of our finances are appalling. And yet, whenever I ask you, should the Chancellor consider her position, you play Mr. Nice Guy. She needs to consider her position, doesn't she? Because Britain's economy is tanking, according to the Tories.
Well, Camilla, look, they should all go, okay? And if Rachel goes, the Prime Minister should definitely go. We've had far too long over the last year of broken promises. You know, a government that said, for example, they wouldn't tax our farmers and then came in and did exactly that. They said they wouldn't means test the winter fuel payments for pensioners, then they did exactly that. They said they wouldn't put up our taxes left, right and centre, including national insurance, and they did exactly that. And we've now seen a government that is so chaotic, it's almost U-turning by the minute. U-turning on the winter fuel payment, U-turning on our pressure for them to have a national inquiry into grooming gangs, U-turning under pressure from their own backbenchers just last week on welfare, which is leading to this growing black hole of unfunded commitments. Okay, there's about £7 billion of those lying around, and that's why I wrote to the OBR. This government said was they would not get into the business of unfunded commitments, and we don't know what the figures are now going to be looking like, and yet we're taking big decisions in Parliament.
So when you say they should all go, you're saying that the Prime Minister and the Chancellor should consider their positions and resign?
I think the whole front bench is, taking our country in entirely the wrong
should they
direction.
resign?
I believe that the Prime Minister is. So, look, I think they should all go, right? I don't want to see a Labour government. I don't know why we keep playing these word games and all this.
Well, no, Camilla, you're playing word games. You want them to be voted out, or you want them to resign?
I'm saying that I think, given your question to me was, do you think they should stay in place? I think the whole lot of them are not fit for purpose. It's quite obvious that the way that the economy is being mismanaged at the moment is hitting people right up and down our country, and I'm afraid it's possibly going to get even worse in the autumn. So, that's not a record that would substantiate most people staying in their roles. Yeah.
Okay.